Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today, the new Masayuki Honjo, the Lightspeed Hero Protector, came out, well, technically last night, but his skill is so very confusing that I figured I would dedicate its own video just to explaining how the fuck it actually works. So this is not his actual showcase of him leading teams and everything. This is purely to show how his inspire mechanic works and how you can get more than 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 24% attack per turn. So this is strictly that. His actual showcase will probably release later in the day, but it's so confusing and so new and hard to wrap your head around that I think it deserves its own video. So we're just going to do that. All right. So we're here on turn 2. We're going to apply the Inspire status to our, Rimuru and Geld. So chance to inspire all physical allies. So Octagram Lumi here is magic. She is not going to get that status. But when the enemy's turn ends, so after you attack and after they attack, depending on how many times you have hit them, you will get a permanent 4% attack increase. And this procs every 3 attacks. So if we send 6 orbs here, so we'll use Masayuki to reset and we'll change these orbs to green. If we send a traditional 6 orbs in one turn, that is 6 attacks. And since it procs with every 3, we're going to proc this 4% twice in this hand. So Rimuru currently sitting at 20% attack right here. And by sending 6 orbs, we are going to get an 8% increase. Again, 8% because every 3 attacks get you 4%, and we are attacking 6 times, so it's going to be double. 8% attack right there. So we're done attacking, they're now going to attack us, and then once they're done, we will inspire. And then we check Rimuru's stats now, we are going to be up to 28% attack. So that's how it's going to work. And the status lasts for 2 turns, so you don't have to use Masayuki every single turn. His status is just going to be there, but it's only after the enemy's turn ends. So if I were to swap Rimuru away and have either Lumi or Shizu up front, we were not going to get any of those attack stats, because he has to be up front at the end of the enemy's turn to actually gain those stats right there. So if we were to do this again, so let's do Masayuki to reset Geld's orb change, and then we'll do it a couple times. So we'll do orb change, boom, and then orb change, because it will change these two, and then the Lumi orb. So perfect. So we're currently now at 28% because of the 8% we got last time. By sending another 6 orbs, that's going to give us a further 8% attack buff in this turn with the Inspire state active. So now we're going to be up to 36% attack. And that's if you just continue to send 6 orbs and you don't worry about any other weird gimmicks or orb mechanics, you're always going to get probably 8% attack per turn. So that's not super impressive by any stacking protectors means, but there we go. 8 plus 8, 16%. 16 plus 20 is 36%. Math is involved heavily here, and I'm not very good at that, but even I know that that's how that works. So traditionally sending 6 orbs will give you an 8% attack buff every single turn. But there are other ways to make that buff go higher, because if we continue reading, every 3 times an ally attacks, max up to 40% attack per turn, which you can get unlimited. The unlimited part means that whatever attack buff you're getting stacks forever and ever and ever. But the 40% attack per turn is that you can only get a maximum increase from the Inspire state of 40% within 1 turn, which means to do that, you need to hit the enemy 30 times. 30 times in 1 turn to actually get that 40% permanent attack buff. And currently, there's only a few ways to do that. So let's show you some other examples of ways that we can get at least more attack buff by doing weird gimmicky things. Okay, so we're back. We're going to show a different example of how we can get more attack. Because remember, we can go up to 40% attack in 1 turn. So 8% is barely scratching the surface. But how do we actually get more attack by sending more orbs or more attacks? Well, one way is to use the Wind-Masked Hero. So we can swap Hero for Shizu because she has 3 orbs here, and then we can steal these orbs and then apply the AoE state to her orbs, which means that she's going to hit everybody, not just one person, but 3 people. And so that's actually 3 hits per orb now. So the Inspire state, while it's not going to be on the Masked Hero because she is magic, it doesn't matter who does the attacking. It's just as long as you attack. So even though Rimuru is not going to do anything here, he will get the Inspire buff from Masayuki and from these orbs that the hero is going to send. So this is, still 6 orbs technically, but it's going to hit 3 times. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 hits in a turn. So again, Rimuru is starting at 20%, and if we send all of these orbs, it's not going to be an 8% buff. It's going to be a 44% buff now. So there's 18 hits in a turn, and now once the Inspire state kicks in, Inspire, boom, and now Rimuru is magically up to 44% attack, because it's 4% per 3 attacks, and since each of those orbs was attacking 3 enemies, that's 3 attacks in one orb, so that's 15 hits, or 18 hits, that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24% extra attack right there off of those 18 hits. So we can see that if we can somehow ramp up the amount of attacks we do in a single turn, the amount of attack that we're going to get as a passive buff is also going to ramp up. Now, in order to fully max that out and get the 40% attack in one turn, we do have to do a few wonky things. Okay, so we first saw Rimuru just sending 6 orbs, and then we added the AoE hits from the hero, and that gave us quite a large buff. But there is another way to max that even more. So here, we're going to use the hero to steal, or actually no, we're going to use Hinata first, so we'll bring her in for Geld because it doesn't matter. Commander Hinata's orb change gives us the multi-hit state to blue orbs, which means that you attack 3 times per orb on a single character. So if we do this, boom, now we have the multi-hit state. So every time we send an orb, it's actually 3 hits. Now if we combine that with the Masked Hero's AoE skill, that's now 3 hits per orb and 3 hits per enemy because they're going to be AoE orbs, which means that we can actually cap out that 40% attack on Rimuru by using Masayuki. So let's do that now. Boom, Inspire state is now on Rimuru, and technically Hinata because she's physical. But now we're going to hit 6 times per orb, because 3 for the AoE and 3 for the multi-hit. So each AoE orb is going to hit Mirren, Adelman, and Ninehead 3 times each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Rimuru is still at the base 20%. We'll send this. So 1, 2, and you can see the little tiny numbers pop up. It's hitting everyone 3 times. And now, when we check Rimuru at the end of this, we're going to be at that max of 40% attack increase. So he's going to be at 60% attack now, because we did 36 hits in a turn, in that single turn. Boom, Inspire hit, and now 60% attack. Up by 40%, which is what Masayuki caps out at. Max up to 40% per turn, unlimited. So we can, if we want to continue to do that over and over and over and over again, we certainly can. But it's not very viable because, Commander Hinata only does it on blue orbs, and this is a green focused team. The Masked Hero is magic, and her AoE state is only for her orbs, so we'd have to send her orbs the entire time, and Rimuru wouldn't get any gauge. But we can max it out. Other things that work is the instant damage abilities that are AoE, like Space Rain or Space Leon from the Space 2.0 meta. They're skills that do immediate damage to all 3 enemies. That does count as 3 hits, so that will give you a 4% stack at the end of the turn. And you could technically do that a bunch of times if you have enough points for it. And you can do it instant. And you could kind of stack it up like that. I don't know how viable that is, but it's certainly an option. But also, if you use the Masked Hero's Rewind ability and you send 6 orbs and then the Rewind and you send another 6, that's technically 12 orbs in a turn, which is going to give you a 16% attack increase within one turn, technically. So that can work as well. The things that do not work are status effects placed on the enemies themselves. So, vengeance, poison, despair, the things that are not actually from a character on my front line attacking, and it's passively debuffing or passive damage over time, these are not affected by Masayuki. So let me pull up a clip really fast. Okay, so we see that Rimuru has the Inspire state on. We've brought both Vengeance Yome and Ainz, so we can apply 2 different status effects, both the Despair and the Vengeance. So these are things that will hit everybody, right? Because Vengeance on turn 5 starts dropping lightning bolts, and Despair does a little tiny bit of damage every single turn, but those are not going to be affected by the Inspire state, because they are not attacks coming from a character. It is an attack coming from a status effect. So we're just going to send the 1 orb. Rimuru still has the 20% attack right here, so we can show that it does not. So we'll send this 1 orb. Boom. Okay, cool. And then we're going to take these ults and the follow-ups. I should have picked a better turn to do this where it wouldn't take as much time. But they're going to get hit technically 6 times. 3 from the Vengeance, and then 3 from the Despair damage. And boom, Vengeance. But the Inspire did not pop up over Rimuru, and we are still at 20% attack. So status effects are not going to count. Burn is not going to count. Frostbite's not going to count, because Frostbite does passive damage as well. These things are not affected by Inspire. You have to attack with a character for it to count. Alright, hopefully that gives you a general idea of how Masayuki is meant to work. I know it's very convoluted and confusing, and right now, as of his banner being out for less than 24 hours, there's no reliable way to actually get up to the 40% max per turn. He's going to require at least one more character, like at least one more brand new summonable character to reliably do that. If not, just both of the new characters that are come out for the rest of this meta. So Masayuki, definitely not my most favorite protector in the world, but now that we've shown you what he can do, and I don't have to explain it all during his actual showcase, I can just refer people back to this. It'll probably be a lot easier for people. So let me know what you guys think of this new Masayuki and his kit. Like, how do you think the next 2 meta units are going to help Masayuki get to that 40% cap and help us do 30 hits in one turn? Let me know your thoughts, but that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.